Now I would like us to go ahead and run a day in the life of ServCraft. I'm going to go onto the ServCraft platform and we're going to do a normal day-to-day on ServCraft so you can view the value ServCraft can add to you and your company. As soon as you can see my screen over here, it looks exactly like the slides that we just looked at. We have our web application to the left-hand side and the mobile app to the right. We're going to go ahead and focus on the left-hand side on the web application for now. You will view as soon as you log into your ServCraft, you come directly to your dashboard where you get a great bird's eye view of all of the moving parts within your business. If we go ahead and we look in the top left-hand corner, you can view our section called Queries. Queries refers to all of our tickets and leads that come into our business. Imagine all of our leads that come in over phone call as well as WhatsApp. ServCraft allows you to attach a web form to your website or set up a third-party email to help you start bringing your queries directly into your ServCraft system. So we can then track everything with the first touch point of our customer. So instead of us getting thousands of phone calls in a day as a business owner, we can start training our customers to use queries effectively on ServCraft. We can see that I've now received a query for today. I can go directly into this query. I'll be able to view all of the customer's information. Of course, if the client doesn't use the web form or the third-party email, we can also manually add our customer's details. We have the ability to select a query status as well as a priority for each of our different queries. Some of our queries will also contain the exact inventory that needs to be maintained or repaired on site, as well as a description written from our customer. I can now easily go ahead and create this job on my ServCraft system. Instead of me printing loads of pieces of paper or using a whiteboard to track all of my different jobs, I can simply go to options in the top right-hand corner, select create job. All I would have to do is then select my job type. Is this a call out, an installation, or repair job? Let's select installation. As we've seen, the customers put a geyser installation description over here. You can further add to this description and type whatever information you would like your technicians to receive. I always like to write as much of a description as possible, as well as to get the technician to give feedback directly against that description. Once I go ahead and create job on ServCraft, this will automatically notify my client that their job has been booked with ServCraft. If we look in the top right-hand corner, you will see each of our different statuses. Our different statuses will have automatic communications linked to them either internally or externally at each point. You can add and take away as many as you would like. So if you don't want your client to be notified when their job is booked on ServCraft, you can remove that as well. This is a workflow that we would configure and build for you as you reach your implementation and onboarding with ServCraft. If you view in the top over here in our grade tabs, you can see as we populate all of our information for our jobs, they'll all be stored over here in the top. At this point, we can now follow the process of quoting our client before we go to site. At this point, all I would have to do is go to actions, select create quote, and I can go ahead with building my quotation. On ServCraft, I can either add singular line item materials, or I can add in a bundle, which is a full list of materials we use for similar types of jobs. So like a geyser installation, I know exactly what materials make up a geyser installation. I can just select my bundle that I've pre-created, and just like that, my quote is completed. You can change the pricing directly on the quote or invoice itself. If we require a deposit amount, we can add one. And ServCraft has made life even easier, as now instead of you typing the email or sending it to the client on WhatsApp, I can just send quotes on ServCraft, select my message template that you will configure for you and your company, and then within seconds, we can go ahead and send out our quotes or invoices. I will, in a short moment, go into our communications and show you how the clients receive a quote and invoice. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and accept this quotation so that we can set an appointment with this customer. Our client has now accepted their quotation. I can go directly to my appointments tab on ServCraft. I do have the option to switch between a monthly or weekly view, or I can choose the timeline daily view in which I can preset all of my different appointments. This is great. The scheduler within ServCraft will allow you to have less notifications going on WhatsApp, notifying the technician exactly where he needs to head at each time of his day, as well as giving the business owner the oversight of viewing where all of the technicians are at each time. So at this point, let's go ahead and set an appointment. All I would do is click, drag, and drop this appointment for which technician I would like. And I can set employee or customer reminders anywhere from 1 hour to 24 hours before the appointment. We can also click back into the job directly from the appointments calendar, and we can view that I've assigned it directly to Hudson. At ServCraft, you can assign jobs to multiple different technicians, as well as you can add a van to each technician. ServCraft not only has warehouse stock, we do have van stocks, which will then give you the ability to track stock between each of the employees' vans. As soon as we've now assigned an appointment or a job to Hudson, he will receive this directly on his mobile device. You can see he's received his job in Job Booked. He can view his description, geyser installation in Unit A. Our technician Hudson can now open his job card. He can view all of the client's information. They can phone the client directly from this page, or we can go straight into Google Maps. If you have multiple map systems, it would ask you which map system you would like to use. This is fantastic. This alleviates us having to tell the technicians exactly how to get to site or have them constantly phoning us to find the right directions to site. The first thing the technician would do is go to their status, which is currently sitting in Job Booked, and they would change this to on way to site. Of course, when they arrive to site, we would then change our status to work in progress, which could notify the operations manager. As you can see, we are able to add custom fields to any status within ServCraft. And as soon as I click save on work in progress, you can view that the timer has started in the top right-hand corner. Timers are great for history purposes, for charging for labor, and to start viewing the time it takes the employee to complete similar types of jobs. Once we work in progress, we now have the ability to complete multiple different features on the mobile application. It's very important for everyone to understand that ServCraft has very strict permissions in which you'll have the ability to remove whatever feature you didn't want the employee to have access to. This could be things like quotes, invoices, purchase orders. If you do give your employee the access to quote on site, they will be able to see all of the pricing directly on their mobile device. This is also great for business owners who are quoting on site, taking all of the materials they need down, then heading back home and doing those quotes and invoices till 7, 8 o'clock at night. Now with ServCraft, you can do your quotes directly on your mobile device while you're on site. You can send it directly from your mobile device. Or you can also print this into PDF and send it to the client over WhatsApp, as we know many customers love to do.